Hi, Ebenezer mathematicians. I am coming to you today to talk about two benchmarks that are helpful in telling time to the nearest 5 minutes. On Monday when we met, we made our handy clock that counted by 5-minute intervals, and we practiced counting by fives. I want you to help me by reviewing. We're going to do a snap, clap pattern and count by fives. I know you love those brain breaks and moving. It makes it more fun to put some action to it. So here we go. We're going to snap, clap, starting at 5, all the way to 60. You ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. Right, we got to 60 and made it all the way around the clock. So we're going to use those fives to come up with 4 times that are very, very easy benchmarks to help us in our counting by fives. Now, I know from last year, I have my clock that we made by fives. I'm going to go back and add the benchmarks of the 12 that is at the top of the clock that you created yesterday, and I'm going to make that red so you can see it. The 12, and I am also going to make our 6. So we know those 2 times are written as, the minutes would be o'clock if it is on the 12, and you can't see that as well. Let's make it a little bit bigger. O'clock if that long minute hand is on the 12, and if that minute hand gets to the 6, that is a half hour, 30. So I'm going to move my camera back, and we're going to look at taking this circle and drawing a line to divide it in half. So when we take a circle and divide it into 2 equal sections, here is half of our hour, and here is half of our hour. Now, when we counted around the clock just a minute ago, we said the total number of minutes in this clock is 60. I want you to think for a minute. If you are taking 60 and dividing it into 2 equal sections or 2 equal amounts, think about your 6th addition fluency facts. What plus what equals 6 that divides it into 2 equal halves? 3 and 3, you're right. So if we're taking 60, this half of our clock is 30 minutes. And this half of our clock is 30 minutes. So from the 12 around to the 6, we have 30 minutes, and from the 6 back to the 12, we have another 30 minutes. Half and half. Half past any hour is going to put you at your 6. I know that you remember those times of o'clock and 0:30 from 1st grade. Now we're going to take that 30 minutes and we're going to divide it again. Ready? I'm going to take my circle and I'm going to make a line this way. And if you remember, if this is the 12, if we go around to this point, we are coming to the 3 on our clock. And if we go to the 6 and come back around this side, that's going to take us to the 9. So now, instead of taking that 60 minutes and dividing it into 2 equal spots, how many equal parts do we have now? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 equal parts. And if we know this half is 30 minutes, can we take half of 30 and divide it into 15 and 15? We sure can. And 15 and 15. And I'm going to make that with my red marker because my camera isn't picking up the amounts of time as well as some other videos have. So 15 minutes for this part of our clock, 15 minutes for this part, 15 and 15. Well, let's confirm that or prove that. Let's look over here at our clock we made. Use your clock that you made yesterday in instruction. 5, 10, 15. Yes, that is correct. 5, 10, 15. Yes. 5, 10, 15. 5, 10, 15. So each of those 4 equal sections have 15 minutes in them. So now we have 4 benchmark times. We can tell o'clock, 30. This is 15 after an hour. And this is 30 plus 15 more, which would make us get to 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. That's right. When that in the hand lands on the 9, it is 45 minutes past the hour. Now, I told you that they have a tricky phrase for that sometimes, but if you think to our connections about money, I want you to stop for just a minute and think about $1. If you have $1 divided into 4 equal sections, get 4 of the same coins. What is that coin? Did you say quarter? If you did, you got it. This is quarter past. This would be 2 quarters or a half. And this is quarter till, because it's quarter till the next hour. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. Quarter past and half past are easy. If you have a time that says 1:15, that's pretty easy, and it's going to be written as quarter past 1. But watch what happens when we get down here to the half. This hour hand is going to move from the 1 a little bit closer to the 2, because this side of the trip around the clock, this hour hand is getting closer to the 2. So when it says 1:30, guess what? That little short hand is about halfway between the 1 and the 2. When it gets to 1:45, guess what happens to that hour hand? It is almost 2 o'clock, because it only has 15 minutes till the next hour. So sometimes that's the tricky time at quarter till the next hour, because that hour hand is still after the 1, but it's closer to the 2. So your clock might show 1:45 or quarter till 2. And that quarter till is the quarter before the next hour. So today we have talked about taking that full 60 minutes, dividing it in half for 30 minutes, and then taking those halves and dividing it into 4 equal parts or 4 quarters of an hour, 15 minutes. So if someone wrote down a time and wrote the time (2:15), they might actually say quarter past 2. Will you take your clock that you made yesterday and set it to quarter past 2 or 2:15? Practice that. I'm going to get my Judy clock so you can check by it. Okay, you ready to check your work? This is 2:15 or quarter past 2. So on your clock, your hour hand is on the 2, and it has gone 15 minutes past the hour. So 5, 10, 15, quarter past 2. Now, I would like for you to set your clock for 6:30. Some of you might be helping your parents clean the dishes after dinner tonight at 6:30. Set your clock for 6:30 or 6:30. Some people might say that time as 6:30 or 6:30. Practice on your clock now and set it for 6:30. I'm going to set mine to go with you, and I'm going to do something a little tricky to show you, because you might think both of those hands are right on the 6, might you? 6 for the hour, shorthand, 6 for the 30. But if you look, when I set my clock, something happens to that hour hand. It is moving toward the 7, you're right, because it is almost halfway around, and it's halfway between the 6 and the 7. Tonight, whatever time your parents finish dishes and dinner, your job is to help them clean up the kitchen and help with the dishes. Last time, the tricky practice we're going to practice is that quarter till, or 45. So let's say today your outside recess time starts at 2:45. Set your clock for 2:45. What do you notice? What do you notice about that hour hand when it gets to 2:45? Excuse me. If you look at mine, I've set my clock for 2:45. It's almost recess time. Look over here at that hour hand. What happened? And I need to move it almost exactly. Excuse me, I've got a choke. Sorry about that. That hour hand is between the 3 and the 2. So it's getting closer to 3 o'clock, 2:45, because it's quarter till. It's only got 15 more minutes before it gets to the next hour. So this time could say 2:45. It could also say quarter till 3. Now, it's recess time, but before you go to recess, I need to mention something to you about our time lesson. We've been hearing from some parents, and we need your help. The word for the bonus word that has nothing to do with math, but it does have to do with time, is we want you to work on the word balance. We balanced those 60 minutes into some equal blocks, didn't we? We balanced the 30 minutes into 2 equal blocks. Well, guess what? We're depending on you as second grade students to balance your time. And we know that it's difficult when you're at home, because you might want to go play a video game or have recess all day. But guess what? We're learning some new things, and we're learning how to practice our schoolwork at home. So we are depending on you to show balance in your day, because if you think about the work that Miss Hodge, Miss Potter, and Miss Reinhardt sent home to you to do, you would love to have a day like that at school. You would check off all those tasks, you would get them done, and you would have the rest of your day to do some free reading, or to read Epic, or to get on IXL, and you would be tickled to death. But you know what? When we're home, there's other things we want to do, and we have to balance our time. So some parents are saying they just want to play recess all day, and they're having a hard time getting and finding the balance to sit down and do that work. I have a challenge for you. Work for 30 minutes, play for 30 minutes, read for 20 minutes, and write about it for 10, 30 minutes, and then go run in the yard for 30 minutes. When you're playing soccer in the yard, kick that ball and count by 5s. You can make learning as fun as you want to, but we are depending on you as second graders to help your family with balance. This work is not hard. You can do it because you are smart Ebenezer mathematicians and workers and learners. So we want you to help your families. They're working hard, we're working hard, and you're working hard. So find balance, go have some fun. It's recess time. See you tomorrow. Bye.